who should actually own transportation systems in the future? I think it obviously begs the question, do we continue to have federal, national government pay for everything? And we've seen that that's actually not sustainable. So first of all, we're going to start out with who owns infrastructure today and why that actually matters. First and foremost, most transportation systems are publicly owned, whether that's roads or transit, bus rapid transit, and so forth. Funding, very logically, actually comes from taxpayers, from you and I. Sometimes it comes from bond measures, but it's also federal and state allocations. And without elaborating too much now, we know that that is simply not keeping up with the needs. Ownership really shapes priorities, and whether that's equitably, efficiently, and profitability, well distributed, certainly at the national level, but then within states and local entities. And again, this is not exclusive to a U.S. conversation. And then actually, how do we deal with legacy systems that were built for a different period of time? We often talk about future planning, adding more roads, building more bridges, adding more lanes is not meeting the needs. So how do we move away from building for cars and actually start to build for people and efficient mobility in their choices? So decision making is often really, really slow and political and fragmented, and that kind of shorter term cycle where actually a future of mobility and planning is really needs to take longer. So let's start with the reality. Today, most transportation infrastructure are publicly owned roads, highways, transit systems. They're funded by taxpayers and managed by government agencies. We won't comment on how well that is done at a global level. We can certainly pick fantastic local work and some great places where the transportation agencies are utterly fantastic. And that really all that matters is what we think. Ownership defines priorities. Public systems tend to focus on access and equity, but they also move incredibly slowly. Decisions are layered, whether it's national, regional, state, and local. Right there is enough to complicate everything. Funding cycles, competing interest, and of course the regular political cycle. And then the challenge is that these systems were designed decades ago, and many people sitting in positions of planning, positions of authority, government, elected officials, and so forth, are actually still trying to bring forward historical planning practices rather than really be inventive, innovative in what the future of design is. So again, that was a time when cars were first in the world, and now it's not the dynamic on-demand mobility ecosystems that really we're all seeking today.